If you found this video before July 24th ends, this isn't random. Maybe you clicked because of the title. Maybe you were curious. Or maybe something much deeper brought you here. For the next 15 minutes, I need just one thing from you. Watch this alone. No distractions, no background noise, no skipping ahead. Because what you're about to hear might feel strangely personal. Almost like the universe already knows what you've been carrying inside. And before this video ends, you'll understand why today is different. Wait, before you skip this video, I need you to hear one thing. If this found you before July 24th ends, it may not be an accident. Thousands of people will scroll past this message, but somehow you're still here. In the next few minutes, you may hear something you've been needing for a long time. So do yourself one favor. Watch this alone, stay until the end, and don't skip a single second. Because what happens after today could depend on the decision you make right now. 1. Have you ever noticed how certain moments in life seem impossible to ignore? Maybe you've been thinking about making a big change. Maybe you felt like something is missing, even though everything on the outside looks normal. Then, out of nowhere, you come across a message like this. Is it just a coincidence? Or is it simply the moment you finally decided to pay attention? Sometimes we move through life so fast that we stop listening to ourselves. We wake up, go to work, scroll through our phones, handle responsibilities, and repeat the same routine day after day. Weeks become months, and before we realize it, another year has passed. But every once in a while, something interrupts that routine. A conversation, a dream, a thought that won't leave your mind, or a video that makes you stop scrolling. Whatever brought you here, take this as an opportunity to pause for a moment, not because this video has all the answers, but because you deserve a few minutes to reflect on where you are and where you truly want to go. Ask yourself one simple question. If nothing changed over the next year, would you honestly be happy with the direction your life is heading? Most people avoid answering that question because the truth can feel uncomfortable. Yet growth always begins with honesty. The future isn't shaped by luck alone, it's shaped by the choices you make every single day. Small decisions may seem insignificant at first, but over time, they become the story of your life. So as you continue watching, don't focus on what anyone else thinks you should do. Focus on what your own heart has been trying to tell you. Because sometimes the most important message you'll ever hear is the one you've been avoiding all along. 2. Now I want you to be completely honest with yourself. When was the last time you truly believed that your life could change? Not someday, not when the timing is right, but today. For many people, the biggest obstacle isn't a lack of opportunity. It isn't money, connections, or even talent. The biggest obstacle is the voice inside their own mind. It's the voice that whispers, "You're not good enough. You've already missed your chance. People like you don't get happy endings." The strange thing is that after hearing those thoughts long enough, we stop questioning them. We begin treating them like facts instead of opinions. But what if those thoughts have been wrong all along? Think about every successful person you've ever admired. At some point, they were uncertain too. They faced rejection, disappointment, and moments when quitting seemed like the easier option. The difference wasn't that they never felt fear. The difference was that they refused to let fear make their decisions. Now, here's something worth thinking about. Imagine standing in front of two different doors. The first door leads to the life you've been living. The same routines, the same excuses, the same doubts, and the same results. The second door leads to something unknown. It requires courage. It asks you to trust yourself even when you can't see the entire path. Which door would you choose? Most people say they would choose the second one. But when the moment actually arrives, they hesitate because the unknown feels uncomfortable. Yet every meaningful change in life begins with uncertainty. You don't need every answer before taking the first step. You only need the willingness to move forward. Maybe that's why this moment feels different. Maybe you've been waiting for permission to believe in yourself again. If that's true, then let this be your reminder. Your past does not have to decide your future. Your mistakes do not define your potential. And your current situation is not your final destination. Every sunrise is proof that life offers another beginning. Every new day is another opportunity to choose differently. So don't spend another week waiting for the perfect moment. Perfection doesn't exist. Progress does. And sometimes the smallest decision you make today becomes the reason your entire life looks different 1 year from now. So as this message continues, keep one question in your mind. What if the life you've been hoping for starts with one choice? The choice you make today? Here's something that most people don't realize until much later in life. Your future is rarely changed by one giant moment. It's changed by the small decisions you make when nobody is watching. Think about it. The person who becomes healthier doesn't wake up one morning completely transformed. They simply choose to make one better decision today than they did yesterday. The person who builds financial freedom doesn't become successful overnight. They develop consistent habits, one day at a time. The same is true for confidence. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build every time you keep a promise to yourself, every time you choose discipline over excuses, every time you take action even though you're afraid. That's how your life begins to change. Right now, you may feel like you're waiting for a sign. Maybe you've been hoping that one day everything will suddenly become clear. But clarity doesn't always come before action. Most of the time, clarity comes because of action. Imagine standing at the bottom of a staircase in complete darkness. You don't need to see the entire staircase to begin climbing. You only need enough light to see the very first step. Then the next one appears, and then another. That's how life works. Every step reveals the next. Every decision creates another opportunity. So stop waiting until you feel completely ready. No one ever feels completely ready. The people who achieve extraordinary things simply decide that their dreams are more important than their doubts. Now let me ask you something. What would happen if you believed in yourself just a little more than you did yesterday? What conversation would you finally have? What opportunity would you finally accept? What dream would you finally stop hiding from? Because deep down, you already know the answer. You've known it for longer than you realize. Fear has just been louder than your inner voice. But fear has one weakness. It gets quieter the moment you begin moving. The first step is always the hardest. The second feels easier. By the third, you're already becoming someone stronger than the person you were before. That's how transformation begins. Not with perfection, not with certainty, but with courage. And courage isn't the absence of fear. It's making a choice even while fear is standing beside you. So if you're still watching this video, maybe this is your moment to stop asking, "What if I fail?" Instead, ask yourself a different question. What if this is the day everything begins to change? Because years from now, you probably won't remember every ordinary day, but you'll always remember the day you finally decided to trust yourself. And maybe, just maybe, that day is today. 4. There's one final thing I want you to think about. Imagine waking up exactly 1 year from today. You open your eyes and everything around you looks familiar. The same room, the same routine, the same people. But then you realize something. Nothing has changed. The dreams you talked about are still just dreams. The goals you promised yourself are still waiting. The fears that held you back are still in control. Now ask yourself honestly, would that future make you happy? For most people, The answer is no. And that's exactly why today matters. Life rarely changes because of one dramatic event. It changes because someone finally decides they've had enough of standing still. Maybe you've been waiting for the perfect opportunity. Maybe you've been waiting until you felt more confident. Or maybe you've been hoping someone else would believe in you first. But what if you've been waiting for the wrong thing? What if the only permission you've ever needed was your own? Think about every major chapter in your life. Starting school, getting your first job, moving to a new place, falling in love. None of those moments came with absolute certainty. You stepped into them without knowing exactly how everything would turn out. And somehow, you figured it out. That's because human beings are far more resilient than they give themselves credit for. You don't grow by staying comfortable. You grow by stepping into experiences that challenge you. Every challenge teaches you something. Every setback makes you wiser. Every mistake gives you information that success never could. So stop looking at your past as proof that you can't succeed. Start looking at it as proof that you've survived every difficult moment you've ever faced. You're still here. You're still learning. You're still capable of creating a different future. And that's powerful. As this video comes closer to the end, I want you to make one promise, not to me, to yourself. Promise that you won't let another week pass without taking one meaningful step toward the life you truly want. It doesn't have to be a huge step. Send the email, make the phone call, start the project, apply for the opportunity, have the difficult conversation, read the first chapter, take the first walk. Small actions may not seem important today, but repeated over time, they become extraordinary results. Remember this, the future isn't built in a single moment. It's built through the choices you make when no one is watching. So if you're watching this before July 24th comes to an end, don't think of it as a magical deadline. Think of it as a reminder that time keeps moving whether we act or not. The question isn't whether tomorrow will arrive. It will. The real question is, when tomorrow gets here, will you be proud of the choice you made today? Before this video ends, I want you to do something unusual. Take one deep breath and silently say, I am ready for what's meant for me, not because it's magic, but because your words shape your focus, and your focus shapes your actions. Remember, the universe opens doors, but you still have to walk through them. If this message reached you before July 24th ended, don't ignore the feeling that brought you here. Trust yourself. Take the first step today, not tomorrow. Today, because your future isn't created by one giant moment. It's created by the small decision you make right now. If this message resonated with you, type I'm ready in the comments. Share this video with someone who needs hope today. And remember, sometimes the biggest miracle is finally believing in yourself.